living seems scarier than dying. So I was not raised with any sort of religion. So I believed that I wanted just my life to stop. I did not like living, so why do this? The analogy for me as a kid was, well, if I don't like a movie, I walk out, right? I turn the channel. My life is no different. Sure. And I viewed that, and I had friends that moved away, and this is before social media and stuff. And, if a friend moved away in elementary school and never saw or heard of them again. So I thought death would just be me moving away. And I thought, sure, my parents might be sad, but they'll get over it. And I think this is common for lots of people that with suicidal ideation, like we lie a lot and we lie to ourselves the most. I really believed that others would be better off without me there. Once my battles with depression, I'd been in and out of hospitals. Once I was a teenager, I thought people would be better off without worrying about me. I should just get broken me out of the way. And I grew up thinking I was broken, I was flawed, and the worst combination there can be for a human being is helpless and hopeless. People offered me help. People would see that I was despondent. I remember junior high, there was a period that I was a cutter, and teachers and guidance counselors would see like scars on my wrist, but I was also a really good student. So no one wants to think the kid who's doing well in school can't have problems. So whatever bullshit reason I gave to anybody to explain whatever was going on, they gladly took it. Nobody pushed deeper. But you can't help people that don't want help. And I believed I was too worthless, too hopeless to be saved. I thought I was so different and unique. And one of the things that made me share all this as an adult was because as a teenager, I never heard of anybody having had suicidal thoughts or attempts, and then later were glad that they were still alive. Right. So that transition just wasn't even in the realm of possibility. And because no one spoke about it, the only time I was around people talking about suicide was when I was put into mental hospitals. So that made it seem even just crazier that I had these thoughts at all, but they're horribly common.
Yeah, and just give us a reference of time. So what era were you in when this was all happening for you? Were we talking like the 80s?
Yeah, this is all in the, all in the 80s. The last time, it was the early 90s, the last time I was in a hospital, and I felt like an adult. I was depressed and suicidal, and I went to the emergency room. And that was the first time I was hospitalized without making an attempt. Again, so for me, I thought, I'm growing up. I was in my mid-20s, and I can seek help without, just falling flat on my face. I can seek help without making an attempt. Like, that was huge for me. And it took that long until I was willing to receive help. It was after after my fifth, and I intentionally use failed suicide attempt because I felt like a failure. So I don't use PC language around those terms. But my fifth attempt, I had done something that already didn't work before. And I'm just like, what kind of a freaking loser am I? I am obviously not good at living. I'm not good at dying. There's got to be a better way. And it was the first time I was really, praying, and I'm sobbing. It's kind of the dark night of the soul stereotype. And I finally felt and heard that, there is another way. And maybe you were going through all this so that you can help others not go through it. Maybe all of this has a point. And that was the first time I had any sort of glimmer of the possibility of hope. Wow. In the past, and I wasn't just depressed nonstop, but whenever I was happy, I thought that was the lie. I thought depress me was truth. Everything else was trickery. It was those temporary flights of fancy. and I thought normal people were, I thought they were like Ned Flanders, just always high, always just flat, woohoo, up high all the time. They're just, everything's oakley dokley. And that's what normal people were. So I didn't realize that kind of the roller coaster of life is very real, and we all have emotions, and we will always have ups and downs. But I've grown enough so that my downs today are probably feel better than my highs in my teenage years.